Dublin, and that means that over 235,000 paying customers have come through the turnstiles for a fixture which has generated unparalleled interest. And this, the Dublin team, they leave their backline intact following Jerry Hargan's successful introduction 2 weeks ago, but make alterations elsewhere. So Paul Clarke is relocated in midfield in place of the luckless Dave Foran. Charlie Redmond, Dublin's hero, on the 2nd of June, back in there at right half forward, with Mick Galvin happily over the worst of his facial injury, incurred on that same date, now at full forward, and the vacancy there at top of the left filled by Declan Sheehan. However, there is great speculation that Dublin may have a couple of switches up their collective sleeves, and we'll have to see just what materialises when the referee throws the ball in. But there's been that dramatic news from the Meath dressing room about their late changes, and they were very late changes indeed. In defence of their title, Meath decided to keep the evergreen Jerry McEntee in reserve, but there the two late changes, number 17 and number 18. We understand that Terry Ferguson pulled a muscle in his back in the dressing room before the match, and Pádraig Lyons comes in to join his brother Mick on the full back line. And the injury picked up by Sean Kelly is a knee injury. He was picked up in training yesterday, and so back into the fray comes number 18, Tommy Dowd. Dowd, who played so well indeed when he was brought in to the full forward position in the second half of the very first game. Seems a long way ago now. Well, Mick O'Dwyer, it remains a difficult one to call with any degree of certainty. Tommy Howard then getting the fourth match underway, the third replay, and the changes we were speculating from Dublin are materialising. Paul Curran here is on the 40. Tommy Carr still right half back, drilling this one forward towards Charlie Redmond, who's moving in the centre. That's closed down, however, by Liam Harnan. Paul Clarke is playing it full forward. It's Mick Galvin top of the left, Declan Sheehan top of the right, and into midfield has come Jack Sheedy. Meanwhile, it's David Beggy looking for score number 1 for the afternoon, superbly closed down by the very mobile Tommy Carr, and it's gone for the game's first 45 after 33 seconds.
Yeah, David Beggy should have finished that one all right. It was a great opportunity, and he should have got a point at least. Yes, here he came through here on a good solo run. I think he overplayed it a little bit. If he had released it quicker, I think he would have got a score.
It was very good covering, however, by Tommy Carr, now back there minding his line. And so Brian Stafford is going out to take the 45. Brian, the leading scorer in this series so far, with a total of a goal and 19 points. Liam Hayes has required attention, and he's going off the field momentarily. Sean Boylan was in there to nurse him, player who had to leave the field with a dead leg, and now it seems to be a head injury. Stafford, the 45 free taker, has pointed.
A great score by Stafford. That could help Meath now. It will really settle them.
So Meath then hit the front. And the breeze that Michael Lester was talking about really is quite contrary. If you look at the two flags over the Cusack stand, it seems that both teams are playing with the wind. Colm O'Rourke deep in midfield to Stafford, who's come very deep, a good 45 metres out. Hargan trying to get in a telling challenge. And O'Rourke was hit mighty hard that time by Keith Barr, I think. Here he was in there too.
Yeah, Colm O'Rourke could be in trouble there now. He got a terrible bang. And Hayes is still on the sideline. They're still treating him on the far side. He's up and he's coming back on again.
So they're back to the full complement. This was the challenge, Mick.
Yes, in fairness to Colm O'Rourke, he kept his eye on the ball, kept on playing it. But then again, I suppose, the Dublin player had to go in 100%, and he did. And that's not going to help Colm O'Rourke, and if anything will happen to O'Rourke, Meath could be in trouble, because he is unquestionably the best player that Meath have had in all the games to date.
And the player who got in with the shoulder was Heary, and in the end there was something of a sandwich there with Keith Barr coming behind Colm O'Rourke. But as you say, he's been a very influential leader all through this series. Well, when you get tackled by Eamon Heary, you get tackled. Just watch as he comes across this time from a slightly different angle. Watch for the player coming in on the left-hand side. And there is a sub warming up on the far side already.
Yeah, but in fairness to him, and here he there, in fairness to him, he was playing the ball. He didn't really go in to get O'Rourke at all on that occasion. He really went in to play it and play it hard. But if there's anything wrong with O'Rourke, they're going to be in trouble here, and I think he's pretty badly injured, all right.
That's Matty McCabe, who was called back into the squad in the last week. Last played for Meath back around October, and the stretcher coming in, it looks very ominous for Colm O'Rourke. I'm sure, knowing Colm, he'd love to continue, but he looks like his continuation in this match is highly questionable. So only 4 minutes gone, and a decidedly groggy looking Colm O'Rourke trying to stay on his feet as Sean Boylan, with a concerned look in his face, comes in to attend to one of his great leaders, and O'Rourke is off. So now Meath, only 4 minutes gone, have lost Terry Ferguson, Sean Kelly, and now Colm O'Rourke from their starting 15. Jerry McEntee in there with Anne Burton as well. Well, Sean Boylan's side have been in many a tight corner in the past. They lead by a point.
Yeah, Colm is going to be a terrible loss to Meath, because, as I said, in all the games to date, he has been the inspirational man on the pitch for Meath. He's been their leader throughout. But then again, Meath may raise their game now. You know, there you are, another point by Stafford.
So 2 points for Stafford, one from a free, one from a 45. And they are the only two scores in the game so far. Well, they haven't brought anybody in just yet. Jerry McEntee is, of course, an option. Charlie Redmond. Played forward. That's Keith Barr. It's the first time, really, that Keith Barr has attacked in any of the 4 matches. He's been back minding Colm O'Rourke in all the games so far. But with O'Rourke now off, he became the free man. Declan Sheehan will be the free taker. It'll suit a player kicking in from the right with his left boot. Sheehan finds the target, the first Dublin point. And I think it's interesting that Meath have not made a change yet and are playing with 14 men, obviously in the hope that Colm O'Rourke could come back into the fray. But Jerry McEntee has to be one of the players that they would be considering bringing in.
Yeah, Colm O'Rourke is coming back into the game again. It's good news for Meath.
A very warm round of applause right around the ground. Kennedy, very cutely held back, picked up the loose ball, driven towards Galvin. Foley trying to contain it. It's Paul Clark. Paul Curran, I should say, on the 45-metre line. And a fight breaking out inside, fisticuffs. And Kevin Foley, one of the players involved, with Mick Galvin there being restrained by Martin O'Connell. The referee's talking to Robbie O'Malley and isolating Mick Galvin as well. So Galvin, the first player to have his name taken. This is the incident. And Robbie O'Malley, the player who was struck by Galvin. So Robbie O'Malley, obviously, for retaliating. So Paul Curran now playing on the 40, and he's had so many changes of position in the 4-match series.
He's not putting them off anyway.
Well, Tommy Howard has been much maligned, of course, in these 4 games so far. Or shall I say 3 and a bit. We've had 8 minutes of this one. So Charlie Redmond, who was in stunning form in the first game all of 5 weeks ago, striking 7 very sweetly hit points. It's his first chance this afternoon. His side behind by 2 points to 1. It's tailing to the left. Helped in. Cut. Foley. Paul Beelan coming across here against the other number 9, who was PJ Gillick. No great indication so far of any fluency. It looks like it's going to be tough and tight, like so many of the matches in the past have been between Dublin and Meath. It's hard to credit when you look at the huge crowds here this afternoon. It's not an All-Ireland final. It's not even a Leinster final. It's still only the first round of the Leinster. Declan Sheehan is a good 40 metres out. The first wide of the match for either team. Mickey McCullen, it's all of 13 years now since he first came into the Meath Championship team, kicking towards Gillick. Driven deep towards Bernard Flynn, but there was a foul on Gillick after he played that ball away, and so it's going to be a free from where the ball lands, which is just around 22 metres out. Bernard Flynn did so well in the last game to take his goal with great aplomb. He'd been very tightly marked by Deegan all through the 3 games. It really did well to get loose on that occasion. Happily, Colm O'Rourke back in the action, has always been marked by Keith Barr. Stafford has had 100% accuracy rate so far, and he maintains that. His 3rd point.
Yeah, Stafford is on his game today with his frees. The last day he missed quite a lot of them, and if he continues to pop them over, well, Meath could have a big bearing at the end in this game.
He looks so much better when he's in there playing full forward as well. Well capable of bringing others into the action, out around the middle of the field right now. Bit of jersey tugging, it seems. Colm O'Rourke and Keith Barr, the players involved. Hayes touched it down, and Keith Barr was in fast. Well, a probing one inside. Paul Clark, the full forward, trying to hold on to it, but no such luck.
Yeah, it's very hard to understand Dublin. They continue to play the high ball into the square into mixed lines, and I think that's a bad gambit actually from Dublin's point of view. I think if they play the ball in low and fast, I think they do a lot better. But however, I suppose that's the system they're playing to, a high ball into the square all the time.
Indeed, Lions kept Vinnie Murphy scoreless in the second replay 2 weeks ago. In fact, he really has refused to yield an inch to any of his opponents in any of the 3 games. That high ball into the centre has suited him down to the ground. Keith Barr then challenging with Colm O'Rourke. Fed outside. Tommy Carr having a little bit of work to do. Declan Sheehan will let that one run on to Paul Clark. Challenged by Hayes outside the 20-metre line, but he was trying to punch that ball away unfairly, and so referee Tommy Howard gives Dublin the free, 23 or 4 metres out. All this while Sean Boylan has had to come in to have a quick word there with Colm O'Rourke.
I think he's advising Colm not to retaliate or anything there. I think Keith is marking Colm very closely at the moment.
And the Meath player in need of attention may well be Pádraig Lyons. Yeah, I think that is Pádraig Lyons.
Yes, that's Pádraig Lyons, all right.
Well, as you mentioned at the outset, all of this, Michael, the loss of Terry Ferguson really has been a big loss for me. They've been playing so well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd rate Terry Ferguson one of the best cornerbacks in the game over the past 5 years, so there's no question or doubt he is a big loss to Meath.
And then a challenge by Declan Sheehan catching Pádraig Lyons. Well, the resources are stretched already, and he doesn't look comfortable. He's still making his way off towards the far sideline. And Sean Boylan has come in to have a quick word with Colm Coyle, and I think Coyler is going to have to spend a little bit of time in defence. A very versatile player. Back at the ranch, Charlie Redmond still composing himself with this free kick, which will make it 3 points to 2 if he points. And he does. All the points in the match so far have come from frees. And Meath are bringing in a substitute, and I think it's Finian Murtagh who's coming in. So Murtagh is coming in attack. Meanwhile, Colm Coyle has gone back into defence. Tommy Dowd. Fouled. Wants to take the free himself. But you can be sure Brian Stafford will make himself available. Charlie Redmond and Declan Sheehan, the Dublin point scorers, both from frees, as we say, and Brian Stafford with 3 so far. One of those being a 45. Well, this is just about on the 45-metre line. Low enough, caught by Jerry Hargan. And it's chased by Finian Murtagh. Made a big difference, Jerry, when he came in midway through the first half 2 weeks ago. Bernard Flynn trying to get onto this one ahead of Deegan. Deegan was fouling. And there's a penalty of several metres against Dublin for protesting that decision. It can't be a penalty of 13 metres as is allowed.
Yeah, Meath are looking that little bit sharper at the moment. They're first the ball, and they're creating a lot of problems there for Dublin around the defence.
It's a side of great character, this Meath team, and Stafford tops it over neatly. Point number 4, and he opens up a 2-point gap once more. The Canal Inn belonging to the Meath fans this afternoon, and of course the Dubs up on Hill 16. John O'Leary still hoping for a 5th Leinster medal at the end of all of this, but it's a long, long way to go. Tommy Dowd has picked it up inside his own 65-metre line, closed down by the wing forward, Niall Guyden. Coyle. Seemed to come off Bernard Flynn. Back to Colm O'Rourke, happily recovered. Nicely into space. Hayes had moved forward for the first time in this match, intending to trade passes over there with Finian Murtagh, but it's Tommy Dowd who comes in, or Tommy Carr, I should say. Now Curran. Oh, we just shot a little bit too much of it, but it might come good yet for Dublin. Clark back towards Guyden, and finally the chance fell to Declan Sheehan to score the first point from play, and he's missed it.
Yeah, Dublin created a great space that time, and it was a good tackle from Lyons there on Curran going through. But I think Declan Sheehan should have finished that with a score. He had a great chance, he had plenty of time, and he just didn't finish it. If Barney Rock had got that opportunity, I think he would have put it away.
So Paul Curran of Thomas Davis on his way through, picking up the injury. Well, he was challenged by Mick Lyons, but there was no foul on Lyons' part. A lot of injuries picked up so far by players in this match. It's lacked flow. All the points coming from frees. Good defensive displays, in fairness to the players involved, but we're waiting for a bit more style and flair. Jack Sheedy, beaten for it well by Gillick. Conan. Beggy somehow managed to hold it. Towards Colm O'Rourke, beaten for it. Once again, Gillick. Driving it forward there towards Bernard Flynn against McDeegan. It's a good ball forward by Deegan to Curran. Covers a lot of ground, now coming from the right half-back position. Carr. Jack Sheedy. He's had a marvellous series so far. One of Dublin's best players. Can he get the first point from play? Outside to Declan Sheehan again. Driven across invitingly. Fumbled by Harnan. Recovered. Stafford, look where he is. Back inside his own 45-metre line. Up towards Gillick. A challenge coming in from Paul Phelan. Free quickly taken. Deegan racing in for possession there with Bernard Flynn. After his whistle has sounded, he may well decide to hop this ball. Dublin and Meath, of course, the greatest of rivals, teams who've dominated Leinster football back to 1983. Dublin making a switch in their full forward line with Declan Sheehan now at full forward, McGalvin going to the other wing. Kennedy. Jerry Hargan somehow trying to escape the trap. Keith Barr coming to his assistance, kicking deep. Gathered by Liam Harnan. Martin O'Connell now. Put across a searching ball towards Tommy Dowd, and he manages to search it out against Tommy Carr. O'Rourke available. Trying to get it onto the trusty left boot. Just inches wide of the left-hand target. For Meath's very first wide of the game, they've had 4 wides in all, with 3 of them falling to Dublin. Colin Coyle letting that one there. Curran trying to wrestle it away somehow from the attentions of Colin Coyle. Once again, the game being played at a ferocious pace, great intensity.
Yes, but no set pattern coming out of it as of yet. Meath seem to be winning more possession around the middle of the field at the moment, so...
Well, just in case you've come in to join us late, 21 minutes gone. All the points on the board so far have come from placed balls, from frees, and it's Meath who lead 4-2. Declan Sheehan lining this one up with the left boot, and he's cut it back to a 1-point differential with his second pointed free. I suppose, Mick, part of the great attraction of Gaelic games is that you get these great rivalries developing from time to time in so many corners of the country. Cork and Kerry down south, and of course Dublin and Meath here in the Leinster.
This has really developed into a battle anyway, this between Meath and Dublin at the moment. A great chance here for Dublin.
As Clark was trying to play it through, and it was Niall Guidon who'd made the run through the centre. It was covered expertly, however, by Colin Coyle. He's given it away to Keith Barr. Curran took up a very good position. Nobody went across to cover him, and that is the first point from play. It's finally taken 22 minutes to produce, and Paul Curran, a player of great skill and talent, is the one who scored it.
Yeah, he's having a very good game for Dublin at the moment, Paul Curran. He's playing exceptionally well. He's here, there and everywhere. He's back in defence, and he's up front as well. That was a great point from the left side here from Paul Curran.
Meath were just a little bit late in noticing that he'd been sucked across to the left-hand side. There they had 2 players over against the Meath defender, who was Mick Lyons. Neatly tapped over. And so, as they have been after game 1, game 2, game 3, and now into game 4, level. Guidon. Good overlap here by Keith Barr. Travelled. Free kick to Meath. Niall Guidon has been playing deeper and deeper as the game has developed. This is Tommy Dowd against the other Tommy Carr. Tommy Carr, the Dublin captain this afternoon, hoping for a good weekend for the Carr family with his younger brother Declan, of course, captaining Tip tomorrow in Páirc Uí Chaoimh against Cork. Another match you'll be able to see live with us here on RTE. It'll be on Channel 1, 3:15 tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, back here on Network 2, Jack Sheedy playing it across towards Paul Curran against Harnan. Lovely pace, great penetrating skills until Martin O'Connell finally put in something of a challenge to slow down the pace of the attack, and the sting taken out of it in the end by Kevin Foley. Whipped out by Gillick. Carr is under it. Support coming from Deegan. And again, Keith Barr prepared to go forward. Nicely in towards Galvin. Blocked down well by Mick Lyons. Second chance perhaps. And finally it's Declan Sheehan who was the one who hit it with the left boot, but outside and wide.
Another great opportunity gone again there from Dublin. Yeah, Declan Sheehan, I suppose, had a chance. It was the one thing he did the right thing. He pulled on it, but it was just wide of the post.
Jack Sheedy, who was doing so well on the 40, now operating in midfield this afternoon in a Dublin team which is showing some positional switches. Phelan. There's McGalvin. Fed out to Curran. He was looking for another player to come and take it from him. Guidon. Nicely directed. Lyons did well, dominating his area. And Foley, as always, realizing that there were danger possibilities. Beggy wins himself the free. Kick deep towards Finian Murton.
Yeah, the Dublin cornerbacks here seem McKennedy and McDeegan, they seem to be dominating in both corners there, and Meath are just not making any headway there at the moment.
For all the position, of course, as there's a push from Gillick on Niall Guidon. I'm not quite so sure just how shaken Colm O'Rourke is after that high challenge by Heary after just 4 minutes. He's continuing with the action, but Keith Barr here is enjoying a bit more liberty and freedom today and is certainly going forward at every opportunity. Push is by Galvin. Robbie O'Malley then preparing to take this free kick to Meath.
I just can't understand Dublin. They're continuing to play the high ball right through the field, and I think that's helping Meath in a big way. I think if Dublin could keep the ball a bit lower, I think they'd do a lot better.
McQuillan's free kick. To kick out Gillick, stopped instead by Jack Sheedy. On to Guidon. Gillick trying to get back goal side. Galvin. Oh, there was a high elbow from Coyle, and the referee out with a notebook again against Colm Coyle.
Yes, that was a straight arm tackle, all right, but I suppose, fairness to Coyle, I don't believe it was intentional. He was more protecting himself more than anything.
Here's the incident again, Mick, now.
Yes, here comes Galvin in. Oh God, it was, yes, it was a high tackle, all right.
And the positioning of Tommy Howard.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of that actually in our game at the moment, and it's one thing that should be penalised severely.
Well, Tommy Howard was right up with the play and he didn't miss it.
Yeah, I don't think Galvin was as bad though as he pretended to be. I think he's not that bad, he's okay.
So that's the position then, about 24 metres out, and a chance now for Charlie Redmond to put Dublin in front. Dublin lead for the first time in this match. Just over 28 minutes gone, and Charlie Redmond's second pointed free has done the trick. They lead by 5 points to 4.
And as you mentioned a minute ago there, Ger, there's still only 1 point from play, and that's not good.
Well, the point has been made. When you take out the hype, what is left? Sheedy leaves it behind. Kennedy's coming. Curran, one of the stars so far for Dublin. Just as we say it, he misdirects his pass downfield. Declan Sheehan trying to keep the ball in play. And it's Guyden racing through. And he's put it over the bar. A second point from play in the match. Bang on cue. And Guyden is the scorer from Raheny. Two between them again.
Yeah, Guyden is a very, very good forward, and he played very well the last day. They took him off 10 minutes from the end of the last game, and I just couldn't understand it. And still, he's one of the best finishers Dublin have, and that was a great score. He took it very well.
That's Tommy Carr down in need of attention. I wonder if we can see, if we watch in reprise, what happened to Tommy Carr. Dr. Pat O'Neill attending to Carr. This was the point which Guyden scored just a minute ago. He came in racing in, tight angle, great accuracy.
In these conditions, I think the younger side will find that Dublin will start to get stronger, and maybe Meath might fade, you know.
Sheedy trying to fist it down. Gillick for a Meath team that's lost the initiative in the last few minutes and the lead. Hayes against Phelan. Trading the pass inside to Bernard Flynn, sells a beautiful dummy, and from 20 metres out has kicked it over the bar. Meath's first point from play and Bernard Flynn's first score of the afternoon. So just one between them once more. Well, Bernard Flynn is lightning quick. He sold a simply beautiful dummy that time on Mick Deegan.
Yeah, that was a typical Flynn point, no doubt about it. But in fairness to Hayes in the middle of the field, he created it.
Grabbed by Tommy Carr. Robbie O'Malley judging it well, then losing it, however. He's lost it to Paul Curran. Curran hitting it in high and hopefully so, and outside and wide. Well, you often wonder when you look at Paul Curran here, who does his dad cheer for? Of course, his dad, Noel, is a Meath man.
I'd have no doubts who would be cheering for her. I presume it would be Dublin today.
Jerry McEntee, who's come into the Meath team in the last couple of minutes. Meanwhile, Bernard Flynn racing forward, trying to chip the goalkeeper John O'Leary. And credit there the Dublin defence as they went in, closed down his space. The kick wasn't an easy one. So confirmation then that Jerry McEntee has come in the last few minutes. He's in midfield and he's marking Jack Sheedy, who'd begun to dominate. So the old midfield partnership resumed then as...
I think it's Finian Murtough that's gone off the side.
That seems to be the case because Colm O'Rourke has gone into the full forward line. Liam Hayes renewing his partnership in the middle of the field then for Meath with Jerry McEntee across towards David Begg. He did well to keep it away from the attentions of Eamon Heary. O'Connell now joining the fray. Kicked forward towards Bernard Flynn against Mick Deegan. Players calling for it. One of them is Stafford. Well, that wasn't a good ball. Mick Kennedy stood his ground as Stafford put in the challenge. Free rapidly taken. Horgan, one of a number of left-footed defenders in the Dublin team. Floating that one down invitingly, and Galvin is trying to go back and take it against Robbie O'Malley. Foley. Comes out to Jerry McEntee, already making up a lot of ground. O'Connell. Paul Clark hasn't really made a success of the full forward position, so he's come out into the centre. Marking is rather slack right now as Dowd picks it up. Stopped well by Mick Deegan. Belted out well to Jack Sheedy. Now it's with Curran. Referee.
Yes, that's a blocking offence definitely for Harmon there.
So under a minute to go to half-time, and the referee calls back the play, and he's going to have a word with Liam Harnan for that challenge on Jack Sheedy, just as he was putting Paul Curran in the clear. The medical officers may have been busy in the opening 35 minutes.
Yes, you see Jack Sheehy, you'll just watch it here now. Liam Harnan is coming into the picture. Jack Sheehy had the ball released, and you see Liam Harnan continue to come in and hit him straight on. So unquestionably a bucking offence, and lucky enough, maybe not to be, could have quite easily been put off for that.
Well, Jack Sheedy thankfully is able to continue in the game. Liam Harnan becomes the fourth player to have his name taken. And so we're into injury time. And it is Dublin who lead at the moment by 6 points to 5. And this free is just outside the 45-metre line. Charlie Redmond will be the taker. So can he put two between them? He can. A very well-pointed free by Charlie Redmond, has taken over the free-taking duties by and large this afternoon for the relegated Barney Rock. So 7 points to 5.
And the right time to get a score just coming into the break at half-time. That could be a very, very valuable point to Dublin.
Caught brilliantly. Phelan driving forward. Clark going across there. Still challenging with Mick Lyons. Ooh, that hurt. Referee has blown the whistle. It's going to be a free in for that foul by Mick Lyons. So it's going to be Charlie Redmond again. This a tighter angle, but much nearer in on the 13-metre line. And we're now nearly 2 minutes into injury time. Paddy Cullen has seen his side open up a 2-point lead after Meath made the better start. Wind blowing into his face, if anything, because it's swirling around quite considerably here in Croke Park. Seems to have caught it well. Well, there can't have been too much in that one. Not too much space available up on Hill 16. Whether it's Sunday or Saturday, they come to see a match which has always great drawing ability between Meath and Dublin. Tough and tight as it has been all through this series. It's continued in this match. Meath made a good, promising start. Dublin came back, responded well. Charlie Redmond kicked 3 points in all of them from frees. In fact, we didn't have too many points from play, just 3 in all in the match. And so, at half-time, it's Dublin who go in as leaders. Dublin the leaders, and Jerry McEntee straight away trying to redress that situation. Stafford kicking it invitingly across towards Bernard Flynn, looking for another point, and he's put one over. Point between the teams. Bernard Flynn's second score.
Yeah, that was wonderful vision on Stafford's part there. He spotted Flynn away on the far side. He was completely and totally free, and was amazed that Deegan wasn't with him. But it was great finish for Flynn again. Yes, they're a great pass across pitch there from Stafford, and well finished by Flynn. Marvellous point.
Deegan. Welcome back for the second half, and it is just a minute old, and Meath have cut back the difference by a point, 7 points to 6. Bernard Flynn, the point scorer. Meath with an interesting change in defence. Liam Harnan has now gone to corner back, marking Declan Sheehan. In fact, he's now in front of the goal, marking Sheehan, and it's Kevin Foley who's been given the task of taking over at centre half back. Charlie Redmond lining up this latest free kick in the match. First of the second half. Dublin awarded 12 frees in the opening half against 9 for Meath. And whatever about the quality, what of the quantity? The referee played 37 minutes, 22 seconds, but in all the ball was only in play 12 minutes and 19 seconds. Redmond's kick. Good deep one to the right. Well, he's missed one or two, and his kicking has been quite good, with 3 points in all from the first half. Michael McQuillan here, who watched the Leinster final last year against the great rivals from Dublin from the bench when he was the substitute goalkeeper then, but he's won back his place. Hayes contesting there with Beelan. What a magnificent match they're having. And the ball was touched on the ground. Hayes protesting. The referee bringing the ball forward. According to the change of rules since 1990, it's meant to be 13 metres, but I suspect it's still about 10. Maybe even a little less. Redmond. This time to the opposite side. And
yes.
Paul Clark still playing it full forward, unable to keep the ball in play, Mick.
Yeah, Redmond would want to be putting all those scores away now. There's a lot of changes in the Meath team at the moment. Colm Kyle has gone right full back. Liam Harnan has gone to the corner. And Foley's gone centre half back. Quite a lot of changes in the Meath team at the moment, in defence especially.
There was a push by Beelan on Hayes. Free very quickly taken. Referee says play on. Flynn, the point scorer early in this second half. Hagen, outside to Heary. Driven deep, Colm Coyle, who seems to have taken up station at right half back. McEntee, towards Colm O'Rourke. Colm O'Rourke is now playing in the full forward line, as has been for about the last 10 minutes of the first half. Foley, for a Meath side who trail by a point, 7-6. All the options closed down for Martin O'Connell. He's gifted it to Mick Galvin, and off the post it comes and over the bar. That was a mistake by O'Connell. That
was a terrible mistake by Martin O'Connell.
Well, he was running out of options because he was closed down by the Dublin players. They take a lot of credit for it, but that was quite a gift. An early Christmas present for Mick Galvin. So 2 points the margin. Off the post, as you see, and over the crossbar. McEntee judged to have been pushing. Jack Sheedy calmly organising the free kick, which Keith Barr will come and deliver deep into the Meath half.
Yeah, Dublin seem to be getting a grip around the middle of the field at the moment. Jack Sheehy is playing exceptionally well there now at the moment, and Beelan is also coming into his own, so I think it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for Meath at the moment.
Wind, it seems, supporting Keith Barr. Really good ball. McLean's coming to try and collect. He's left it there. Charlie Redmond has put it over. This is a very good spell for Dublin. They're looking very sharp. They've responded well to that early Meath point scored by Bernard Flynn. They've come back strongly and opened up a 3-point gap. But remember, 2 weeks ago, they led by 5.
Yeah. a long delivery in again there. It was a high one in again, but luckily enough Charlie Redmond just happened to be in the right place and he got in and planked it over the bar. Yeah, he took his opportunity well, but still, scores are not being well walked or anything like that. You know, it is all by chance more than anything.
Declan Sheehan.
We're on the move again.
Into Clark, trying to take Mick Lyons out of position. Lyons has been by far the more dominant player so far. That's not a bad one. Played back in well and put over the bar by Biden. His second point, taking the pass from Mick Galvin after it had all been set up by Paul Clark. Meanwhile, there's a Dublin player down injured on the 65-metre line. 4 points the difference, 10-6. But concern once again for a Dublin player who's injured as we watch Guyden, who took the pass delightfully from Galvin. Some expert positioning by Guyden just inside the 13-metre line. McQuillan coming out. So too was PJ Gillick. He beat them all.
And Niall Guinan is still one of the better finishers on the Dublin team. That was a very well taken point again. Dublin now, the younger side, seem to be getting on top at the very moment. I think it's Tommy Carr that's down at the moment.
Well, there was a suggestion that Tommy Carr might well have been employed in the Dublin half-forward line. Still looks a little shaken. All the ties which Paddy Cullen has observed from the sideline have been played at a ferocious pace. Tough, very committed, and Carr, the Army captain, wants to play on, skipper his side to what he hopes will be, finally, fourth time lucky against Meath in a first-round victory in the Leinster. Well, each time we say it, that they're supposed to play Wicklow in 2 weeks' time, but you never know. McQuillan. McEntee's beaten for it. Here he's taken it. Up towards McGalvin. Sideline ball. It breaks down from Gillick to Charlie Redmond. Looking up quickly. Misdirected pass, Harnan coming from cornerback now. Saved by Tommy Carr, happily recovered against Tommy Dowd. Nice ball outside here towards Mick Galvin, who's taking up very good positions. Driven in well. Fisted down by Paul Clark. Second attempt, but it's wide.
Another wasted opportunity there by Dublin. Paul Clark should have put that one away. However, Dublin are getting well on top. Jack Sheedy is coming into his own in the middle of the field with Beelan now, and they seem to be dominating there around the middle at the moment.
McEntee. Played in towards Bernard Flynn, but Mick Deegan is not giving anything away this afternoon. Another player down injured. It's Bernard Flynn away on the far side as play continues with Martin O'Connell. Helped by McEntee. There's Bernard Flynn in the background there. Watching Brian Stafford. Flynn is back on his feet. He was trying to make a run forward. He limped, and he's still limping. And he's watching the man who should be marking him. That is McDeegan. Played outside. Carr here. Dublin with a man up at the moment because of the injury to Bernard Flynn.
Yeah, Dublin are looking very good at the very minute now. They seem to be winning all over the pitch at the moment.
Hayes. Down towards Flynn. Horgan. Into space. Clark trying to get a touch onto that one. Declan Sheehan coming right across the face of the goal. Challenged by Harnan. Robbie O'Malley there as well. Players calling for it inside. One of them was McGalvin. Missed. Finally, it reaches Paul Curran. It's such a very good first half. Charlie Redmond. And what's a very tense moment. And finally, it's dispatched over the crossbar. Tellingly by Charlie Redmond for his 5th point of the game. And the last 2 have been from play. So now it's got a look of the match 3 weeks ago. Dublin leading by 5.
Yeah, Dublin should have had that point a lot sooner. Actually, they messed around a lot there. You know, they're still not putting Meath away, you know, when they should be. But still, they're dominating in all quarters at the moment. They're playing better football at the moment, and I think they're going to go on and win this game. Well, it looks that way at the moment.
Finally, after all that dithering, it was Charlie Redmond who held his nerve and drove it over with the left boot. Meanwhile, there's further bad news for viewers in Meath and followers of Meath football, because Bernard Flynn has been forced out of the match with that injury. He's gone. He's replaced by Matthew McCabe. Meath in a perilous situation, trailing by 11-6, and Dublin rampant. The marauding Dubs coming forward, stopped by Robbie O'Malley there against Mick Galvin. Liam Hayes. So once again a test of the character, the commitment and the footballing skills in the Meath limbs, as that one is touched on towards the ageless Colm O'Rourke against Mick Kennedy. Two great campaigners who've been in many a battle together in the past. Kennedy just wanting to bring to the referee's attention the fact that Tommy Carr is not 100% feeling the effect of an injury. So Meath with a lot of restructuring, and they certainly have been digging deep into their reservoir of talent on the substitutes bench this afternoon.
As Martin O'Connell has gone back to left full back at the moment. Liam Harnan seems to have come out on the wing. They're doing a lot of switching around at the moment.
Tommy Carr continues, but he's not anything but 100%. That leg still continuing to cause him problems, and they had been preparing Ray Holland across on the far side just in case Tommy Carr was forced out. Clare's calling for it. McEntee. Stafford. Meath will not go out of this championship without a fight, and there was a great challenge there by Colm O'Rourke on the goalkeeper, John O'Leary. Happily, O'Leary's okay. It ends up being a Dublin ball. So a Dublin free kick, that for the foul on the goalkeeper, free from where the ball landed. Brian Stafford, scorer of 4 points in the match, all of those in the first half. And now Dublin getting ready to make their change, and Ray Holland is going to come in. And it is Tommy Carr who is ready to limp out of the game. A generous round of applause for a fine captain, Tommy Carr, forced out through injury. And so Ray Holland comes in here, number 19, takes up his position at right half back.
So Tommy had an exceptionally good game today. He had Dowd well in control there, and he played exceptionally well. But Dublin are playing so well at the moment, I don't think it will make any big difference as of now.
Galvin against a depleted Meath team. Harnan against Charlie Redmond. Is run on here beautifully for Curran. Can he put it away? He's put it over the bar. Paul Curran had a goal opening. He was content with the point.
Yes, he had a great opportunity of getting a goal there, but I think it was wise that he took the point on that occasion. But he could quite easily have got a goal. Here he runs onto this one very well.
It was a lovely run forward, great pace, great penetrating skills, and he's content, as you say, to tap it over the bar.
That's right, very skillful player.
So a real test of Meath's resolve if they're to stay in the championship. That's Matty McCabe, the player who's come in place of Bernard Flynn, who'd scored 2 points in the game. Keith Barr with the free. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Held by Curran. Beginning now to really dominate. Sheehan's pass inside, swaying in the breeze. Touchdown by Paul Clark to the waiting Robbie O'Malley. McEntee. Deep into space. Colm O'Rourke there with Mick Kennedy. O'Rourke manages to hold on. Colm O'Rourke engineers the free kick for Meath, and Brian Stafford is the one who's going to kick it. Well, on a warm afternoon, is this to be the conclusion of the series? Plenty of time still remaining for Meath, but Dublin looking really good. And we have to pay tribute to two fine teams, amateur players all, who've given everything they've got throughout the month of June, now into July. And that's produced a point for Brian Stafford, his first point of the second half. 5 points in all, they've all come from place balls. So it's back to a 5-point difference. Well, we haven't had a goal in the match so far. A goal for Meath would bring them right back into the game. A goal for Dublin would have their fans singing up on Hill 16.
Yeah, Meath would need a goal at this stage if they're to remain in contention. I think Dublin are going a lot better at the moment.
Phelan contesting with Hayes. Referee indicting the Dubliner. And the wrong player has taken the ball from the hand, so it's going to be a case of referee Tommy Howard throwing the ball up between a player from each side. McEntee and Keith Barr reaches Gillick. Jack Sheedy trying to limit his space. Colomoro trying to get away from McGennady into the clear. Meath in need of a goal, and they've got it! It's Brian Stafford who's brought them back from the edge yet again.
No sooner said than done. I said that Meath needed a goal to get back into the game, and Colm O'Rourke in fairness spotted Stafford there, and he let the ball in. O'Rourke could have gone himself, but the experienced player that he is, he let it across to Stafford, who finished very well.
Well, you'd read the script, Mick, and likewise Brian Stafford, the cameo role, somehow drove it in defiantly past John O'Leary. There are now just 2 points between the teams. Well, what a tie. Tommy Dowd taken to ground at the 45-metre line. Meath win themselves the free. Well, what great vision this was by Colm O'Rourke, spotting that Stafford was in a much better position, getting there ahead of Kennedy. Stafford holding his nerve, was calm, cool and absolutely precise. Meanwhile, it's Brian Stafford again who's lining up this free from the 45-metre line. Remember, 2 points between the teams. If this goes over, there's one between them. And that's got a tail in it. A third wide in the game for Meath, just one now in the second.